everybody. So today I'm going to be giving you an inside look into my amateur sketchbook. It's the end of the year. I think I've collected enough, data to present to you. So, I just hope that you enjoy this. And maybe next year I can do something similar. First things first, this is my sketchbook. Inside you will find drawings, cartoons that are, I'm not like amazing, a very, like I said, amateur, and I just want to give everybody that warning before we commence. Perfect. Now that imposter syndrome is out of the way, we can get started. In this year of March, I realized that I was feeling creatively blocked. And why am I out of breath right now? I smoked too much pot. I realized that I was creatively blocked, and I came across this book called The Artist's Way. The author basically gives you these weekly challenges to do, and one of the weekly challenges was where the author said,
Hey, if you want to go out and buy yourself a canvas, go out and buy yourself a fucking canvas. If you want to go out and buy yourself a sketchbook, go out and buy yourself a fucking sketchbook. Bitch, if you want to buy some crayons and draw on the walls, buy some crayons and draw on the walls.
This summer, I decided to go out on an artist date, and I sat in front of a house and I drew it. We actually moved recently, and so with moving, you realize that you need a few things. So Brendan actually found this couch to buy off of somebody, and lo and behold, the couch is from this fucking house, y'all. So we got to meet that person, and I was like, yes, I'm very creepy, and I drew your house. So this was actually set up in our apartment. So this is one that I'm like not super proud of, but I'm here to show you anyway. It was one of those moments again where I went and I sat in a park and I drew the park. Ooh, okay. This next one I'm like super, super proud of. So this was my first attempt basically at storytelling through a photo. The story behind this is that I was on the bus and it was my daily commute to work. We always pass by this area on the highway where there would always be this goose. And this goose was always joined by another goose. One day there was a lawnmower that was kind of going towards her, and she was ducked down and like protecting her eggs. And it was just like, oh my God. And then springtime came and they had children, and then they left. Oh! Brendan and I went to a party, and then we got really tired, and we were like, oh my God, you know what I want right now? Some fucking pizza. So we ordered pizza and we watched Futurama, and that was that night. And I decided to draw it because it was something that was so comforting and lovely. This is at Brendan's grandparents' cottage. At this point, we get into the era of where I draw foods that I ate in my childhood. Sausages in a can. I have this vivid memory of my mom serving these to me, and I sat in front of the television in the basement and watched Lady and the Tramp while eating these sausages out of a can. Just thinking about it makes... This is my hand. Ooh. Yeah, I suffer from eczema, and it's very annoying. It's funny because in middle school, oh my God, people would come up to me and just be like, oh my God, your skin is so soft. What do you bathe in milk? And then as I grew up, got older, I made some bad choices. I used chemicals at work without gloves. There's no regulation for that. So just make sure they tell you to use gloves in school when you're learning about WMIS and workplace safety and all of that. But once you're in the workplace, you know what I'm saying? You just want to go home, and you will do anything. And that is just stick your bare hand in whatever the hell you need to stick your bare hand in. There was one time where I was just thinking to myself, where are all the old people? What? Why are they not represented in media? This one is dedicated to my girl, Sarah. This was her dog. He recently passed away. And when he passed away, I decided to draw him and I was going to give it to her. But then after I finished it, I was like, this looks a little bit, it's not great, but it's great, you know? And so again, we are drawing foods from our childhood. I had a lot of health problems. I was definitely not getting enough nutrients. Yeah, I drank a lot of Ensure as a kid. It was disgusting. And I would be sitting at the table for an hour just trying to get this down. Smart food, popcorn, my love, my life, my loins. Long story short, I had this addiction to smart food popcorn. Maybe not an addiction. Maybe what did my therapist call it? She said it was a not great coping mechanism. Shout out to Nikki. So I was basically just burying all of my problems and eating this product. And it took me a really long time to stop this bad habit. I wanted to draw an ode to myself for getting through this bad coping mechanism that I had at one point in my life for a very long time. It was like a decade. Okay. Another story from when I was a kid was when I was in the car with two of my family members and I was in the back seat and we got into a car accident. The driver hit a human being and they went flying and I was a mess. I was between like 4 and 7. Like I was a chickadee. A chickadee? All chickadees are not babies. I was a tiny chicken and it was really emotional, and to this day I do not drive. At one time I did try to obtain my license, but I just let it expire. I did driver's ed in car and everything, and I couldn't do it. My driving instructor was just constantly laughing at my anxiety in the car and would just make fun of my sweaty hands. I had it laid out more interestingly in my head, and then when it got to paper, I was like, is this corny? Another food item that I ate a lot of while I was a child, Chunks Ahoy, not to be confused with Chips Ahoy. Chunks Ahoy is much better because they use chocolate chunks. This is when I moved out on my own for the first time, and I was trying to figure out who the hell I was now that I was in a space where I was able to just kind of think to myself and not worry about, I don't know, not stepping on a particular part of the house. So for reference, here's a photo of what I was trying to draw. We met on OkCupid, and I was very intrigued by Brendan's bio, which said, skinny dipping on acid and driving so fast that the thrill for speed overcomes the fear of death. And that scared the shit out of me, but I was also really tingled by that. So this one again is the theme of foods that I ate as a child. I like the layer on top of things. I think it's really cool. I was walking to work one day and I thought I saw a person who looked like this, wearing all blue everything. I decided to write it down and just make a note of it to draw it because I thought that the concept of somebody wearing all of the same color of everything is interesting. Before I say this statement, I'd like to first preface that not all people who have gone through trauma have learning disabilities. But I think for myself that because I experienced trauma at a very young age, in my formative years, is that what it's called? I think that my mind was trying to basically protect myself, and it didn't really have time to like observe or absorb good learning practices. I had to go to a few learning centers. It was just not good. It was not good. It's still not good. I thought I'd draw like a math book of some sort. So one page is like math problems and like basically mocking myself, just being like, these are really simple and you don't understand them, and everybody else around you is understanding. And then on the other page, is like things from my childhood that I really enjoyed. So I had a Tweety Bird journal, and I always had a diary. I really liked Arthur. I was obsessed with My Scene, if anybody knows what that is. Shout outs. And I would always go into my sister's bedroom and steal her CDs. And one of the ones that I liked a lot was Jennifer Lopez's This Is Me Then. And then she also had a CD player, Walkman type thing. And I would play the CD in it and sing into a flashlight as a microphone. So that's basically me in a nutshell. So the very last one is one that's very special to me. And it is of my friend Kim. There was one day where we were on one of our walks, and they were telling me about how somebody in their life would call them a chameleon in a bad way. But then over the years, they kind of adopted this chameleon as a good thing. And when they said that, I was just like, yes, like you even look like a chameleon. And so here is a picture of Kim for reference. As you can see, it's pretty beautifully accurate. And that is that, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a very wonderful and happy new year. And I wish you nothing but happiness and health for the rest of your life. We will see you in the new year.
Lost, but I know you'll always remember.